Hello everyone, welcome back. In this video we're going to talk about the fonts, how to use the fonts. So this is the schedule that I wrote. What is needed for text formatting, the style of the font and of the layout, the font color, font families, website font, default font and font stack, font size, and font style, font weight, text transform, and text decoration, the drop shadows, text alignment, line height, letter spacing, and word spacing, and other properties that we might or might not see. So first thing I want to tell you is this style of the font and of the layout. This is a concept that I want you to understand. There is a difference between talking about the style of the font, so working on the font, exactly on the font, like changing the color of the font, the size of the font, or the style of the font, the weight of the font, etc., and working on the layout of the text, which is the second part of the video in a way. So working on the text alignment, on the space between the letters or between the words, or the line height, etc., etc. There are two different things that we cover, and is in a way is two different ways of manipulating on working on our HTML and CSS page. So first thing, font color. Font color, we already saw it a lot of times. What is font color? It's just this. You write P because you are setting a property inside this style format for P color, and let's say red, and then okay. Here it is. Of course, it wasn't red before. Anyway, very simple. We already saw it, so let's not give too much attention to this. What are the font families? This is really the difficult and is the difficult theme of the day, the big theme of the day, the big theme of the day. So font family is the style of our text. So now let's take one. Now I deleted the other two. We will come through this later. So this now is Courier New, which I don't even have an idea of how it looks like. Anyway, let's open it. And it has changed the text style, as you can see. So yes, first thing that I should say about this is that there are a lot of fonts style, and a lot of fonts, like thousands, but every operating system has their own default fonts and font that are used inside it. So for example, macOS uses some fonts, but macOS uses some fonts, but Windows use totally other different fonts, etc. So this is some sort of problem. Because sometimes our font that you find, like this Courier New, is a very specific font, might not be recognizable or usable on a specific browser, on a specific operating system. That's why we have what we call here the web-safe fonts. Web-safe fonts are, here I just took the list. Web-safe fonts for HTML are fonts that are for sure they work transversally everywhere on every browser. There are 20, but the most important, you can see Helvetica, Arial is super important, Verdana, Trebuchet, Tahoma, the others were less used. And this with this you are a little covered in this sense. And the last thing, there are the default fonts, which is these ones. Sorry, which is this one, this sans serif, serif or monospace or others. But now we're not going to talk about what it is, because this is typography, not programming. So it's another thing, is another argument. But the point is, these are always going to work because are default fonts. They are not specific, no? So here it comes why before, when I started to type here, I have this, now it doesn't show up anyway, but I can't show up anyway. I try to do it again. Exactly, I want to show this to you, that we already have a triple or even more actually, but in general triple of fonts altogether, because of the font stack. What is a font stack? Is this possibility of is the possibility of placing multiple fonts. Sorry, because I want to show this, of placing multiple fonts in once. So the first one here, Courier New, is the most specific font, is the most particular and beautiful in a way, no? But it might not go. So if this doesn't work, we have a fallback, which is Courier, which is similar, and but you can set whatever you want. So there are three possibilities. You can set whatever you want, but of course, automatically this is a web-safe font, so it should work transversally everywhere. If there are problems, then we can it put monospace, so in a way, which is a default font. With this one, you are completely sure that it will work because it's a default font, so it cannot crash. And since Courier New is monospace, you will know that okay, we had troubles on that browser for this specific user, is showing the text on monospace, which is similar to Courier New. This is what is font families, website font, default fonts, and font style. This is the theme about font family. I hope I explained it clearly. Then we move to font size, which I think we already saw enough about this. Font size, we can set the font size, which is important, of course, but is so simple that I don't want to waste a minute. Okay, let's change the font size. So very clearly, let's move on. So font style, font weight, text transform, and text decoration. So what is font style? Font style doesn't change the font itself, but it changes the style with which the font is presented. So the font family changes the fonts, but this changes the style of the font. For example, font style italic. Now we open the live server. I remove the font weight, font size. And now, as you see, the text has been put slightly diagonal, and because that is the italic font style, etc. Okay, and everyone, and there are others, so we do different things. Anyway, this is font style, very simple. Font weight. Font weight is for the bold, is to create bold of our font family, and as you see, we have all grades of bold, and then we have bold and bolder. Very interesting. You can be very sharp, as you see, with all the grades, or you can just say bold or bolder. So let's put sorry, 800, and now let's see what it does. It doesn't matter. Anyway, it does it. It puts the bold. Now I want to show you it on the DOM, on the tool. So examine. Here, let's. Sorry, one moment. So here. No, from here, I want to show you how if I what happens if I change it. Okay, so here we have font weight, and we have all the grades, and as you see, it changes. And as you see, it changes only all in one go. That's because the font family that I chose suck. Because not all the font families support the grades. Some font families are built very well, like Arial probably support all the different grades. This one suck, and so it doesn't support more. So after 600, it puts this bold, and before it does, it puts the bold of 100. I'm sorry, I took the wrong example, but you can understand what I'm saying, no? Here you can choose all the different grades of bold, and yes, some fonts doesn't support all these features, but only a few, like this one. But you will see that this is a bad example. The most the most standard one will be more full of possibilities. Then text transform. Transform is very useful because you can do a lot with text transform. For example, capitalize. If you use text transform capitalize, open to the live server, and all the text, all the first words of the text has gone capitalized by this feature, or same goes uppercase, lowercase, and other stuff. You can even uppercase, lowercase, capitalize. You can do a lot of stuff with this text transform. Same with text decoration. Text decoration is the same kind of feature, but you can, for example, in text decoration, you can underline, um, and everything is underlined. You can overline, and this is not something that a normal person would do, but and you can through line. I don't remember how it says. Let's take it away again. Line through, which maybe you will see it, you might be using it, and it's line through the text, like maybe you want to show that you have deleted something, but you want to keep it there, and so you use line through. And of course, other feature that you can use it. So these four quite important stuff. And now let's see the drop shadows. Drop shadows that you maybe, if someone has used Photoshop, you know it very well, me not. Text shadow, and then here it takes 4 parameters, for example, 4 px, 4 px, 4 px, 5 px, and then red. So what are these? Now let's see on the live server. As you see now, the text has changed quite strangely. It's quite beautiful, I can say. Anyway, let's examine, and here we have the text shadow. The first parameter is how far the shadow appears horizontally from the text. So if this one, yes, let's say the first one is horizontal, how far the shadow appears horizontally from the text. The second is how much the shadow appears vertically from the text, and the last is the level of blur, and of course the color. So now we placed 4px, and so of course the shadow is going diagonally, 4px horizontally, 4px vertically. What if we place here 0? The shadow is only vertical because it has no horizontal property. We place it back 4, and we place here 0, and the shadow is horizontal. I must say that this is 4, 4, and 5 is what generally used, but you can do whatever you like. And then, for example, if you use like this, the text becomes a mess because there is no blur, so it becomes a mess. But you can even increase the blur and or use a little blur, I don't know, whatever. You can change this feature, and of course you can place it black, and we are happy like this or whatever. And this is the text shadow, and I think it's a super bomb feature in my opinion. Then text alignment. Text alignment. I deleted it. Text alignment. Um, text. Wait, I don't even remember. Text align. Sorry. Text align. And here you have like on Word, on Open Office, on Word, center, left, right, justify, center, and etc. So if you place it on the right, it goes on the right. And this, I think, everyone we saw this in what happening, and everyone saw this in using Word or something like this. So very simple. This is what text alignment does. Line height, text alignment deleted. Line height. What is line height? Line height. Let's place it. I don't know how much is a lot, but let's place it 10 pixel for now. Let's see if it makes a difference. Line height, okay, this is very few. Line height is how much the lines are far from each other. So examine line height. Let's see, I increase, and as you see, the lines are getting more and more far from each other. This is the line height feature, and you probably is useful and simple. So let's 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 say something about it. Okay, this is line height. Then letter spacing and word spacing. Okay, as the name says, is um, the letter spacing is controls sets the space between the letters, and word spacing sets the word between the space between the words. So I want to put it on each one because it's more visible, I think. Let's do letter spacing. I don't know how much is a lot. 3 pixel. Let's see. Isn't even visible. I have a title, a shitty title. I want to change the title. Sorry, one second. Hello, dear world. Let's launch it again. Okay, so now let's see. It has changed it into Italian. Interesting. Anyway, let's see. Let's examine. Let's examine. Okay, letter spacing, and as you see, if I increase it, it becomes more and more far from each other. Let's do word spacing. So letter spacing, this is what it does, and I put word spacing here. Word spacing 10. Maybe it's too much. 5 pixel. 5 pixel. Forward spacing on my P, and didn't change anything, but let's examine. Word spacing 5, and as you see, if I increase, the spaces between the words got changed. So we did everything. Why do you need this? Personally, I think that if you are a developer like me and you will only use it for your job is only develop, you will not use these things a lot, and most probably, I mean, this is a lot related with the graphic design, this UX, UI graphic designer, but it's good that you know it because maybe some colleagues will ask you, can you please separate the words from each other, or place an underline, or change the font of the graphic, something like this. So better that you know it, and but I think it's a very simple stuff. So I don't think you have any difficulties to understand what I'm saying. Last thing, there are other properties. I mean, there are a lot of possibilities and features that you can do with the fonts. I didn't cover and I didn't cover much. I think you can live with this. I mean, probably you don't need to learn much more, but there are other possibilities, other features. So go and check it out because in a video we can't do everything. And for today, I finished, and we I hope you will keep following my channel, and in the next video we are going to talk about something else that right now I don't even know what it is. Thank you very much for having followed, and see you then.